National Safety Month. The safest communities aren't accidentally safe. How proactive governance helps municipalities protect residents and reduce legal risk. When most people think about public safety, they think about police officers, firefighters, paramedics, and emergency responders. Those professionals play an essential role in protecting our communities. They are often the most visible faces of public safety, responding when emergencies occur and helping residents through some of their most difficult moments. But public safety does not begin when a 911 call is made. In many cases, it begins months or even years earlier through decisions made in village halls, city council chambers, public works departments, and municipal board meetings across the country. A sidewalk is repaired before someone falls. A drainage system upgraded before the next major storm. A dangerous structure addressed before it becomes a hazard. An emergency response plan updated before disaster strikes. The safest communities are not accidentally safe. They are the result of deliberate planning, proactive leadership, and a commitment to identifying risks before they become crises. During National Safety Month, that reality deserves greater attention. According to James M. Vasselli, founder and managing member of Vasselli Law, who serves as municipal attorney and special counsel to communities throughout Illinois, some of the most important public safety decisions are the ones residents never see. The communities that manage risk best are the ones that focus on planning, maintenance, compliance, and accountability before an incident happens, Vasselli explains. Public safety is ultimately a leadership issue. It starts long before an emergency occurs. Public safety is a governance issue. Residents often view public safety through the lens of emergency response. Local government leaders, however, understand that public safety is equally a governance issue. Every year, municipal officials make hundreds of decisions involving infrastructure investments, maintenance priorities, personnel policies, emergency preparedness planning, code enforcement, and capital improvements. While many of these decisions may appear routine, they directly influence the safety of residents, businesses, visitors, and municipal employees. In fact, some of the most important public safety decisions are made long before a hazard ever materializes. Questions such as whether a road should be resurfaced, whether aging stormwater infrastructure should be replaced, whether a dangerous building should be demolished, or whether emergency procedures should be updated can all have significant consequences. Strong communities are rarely defined by how they react to emergencies. More often, they are defined by how effectively they prevent them. That practical, prevention-focused philosophy reflects Vasselli's broader approach to municipal law, which emphasizes proactive problem-solving, strategic planning, and practical solutions that help communities address challenges before they become crises. The most expensive problems usually start small. One of the biggest misconceptions about municipal risk is that major claims arise from major failures. In reality, many liability issues begin with relatively minor problems that grow over time. A pothole that continues to deteriorate. A sidewalk defect that remains unaddressed. A blocked drainage structure that repeatedly causes flooding. A damaged handrail that was never repaired. A traffic control device that is no longer functioning properly. Individually, these issues may seem insignificant. Collectively, they can create substantial financial, operational, and legal consequences for a municipality. While every situation is unique, many claims share a common characteristic: the issue was identified too late, addressed too slowly, or documented poorly. The most significant risks municipalities face are often the ones that appear routine, Vasselli says. A proactive inspection program, maintenance schedule, or documentation process can often prevent a manageable issue from becoming a much larger problem. This is why many local governments have shifted their focus from reactive problem-solving to proactive risk management. The goal is not perfection. The goal is prevention. Infrastructure is more than a public works issue. Roads, sidewalks, bridges, drainage systems, public buildings, parks, playgrounds, and municipal facilities form the foundation of every community. Residents rely on this infrastructure every day, often without giving it a second thought. When infrastructure functions properly, it is largely invisible. When it fails, however, the consequences can be immediate and highly visible. Flooded roadways, damaged sidewalks, malfunctioning traffic signals, unsafe public facilities, and deteriorating public assets can create risks for residents and expose municipalities to costly claims. At the same time, local governments face significant challenges. Aging infrastructure, rising construction costs, limited budgets, and increasing public expectations continue to place pressure on municipal decision-makers. As a result, infrastructure planning has become far more than a budgeting exercise. It is a public safety strategy. Effective municipal leadership requires balancing legal obligations, infrastructure investment, economic development, and long-term community goals. Communities that approach these challenges strategically are often better positioned to serve residents while managing risk responsibly. The communities that consistently invest in inspections, maintenance, and long-term planning are often the same communities that experience fewer emergencies, fewer disruptions, and fewer liability concerns. Good ordinances prevent problems before they occur. Public safety is not achieved solely through infrastructure investments. It is also supported by sound policy. Many residents encounter local ordinances every day without realizing the role they play in protecting the community. Property maintenance requirements, dangerous building regulations, nuisance enforcement provisions, traffic control measures, fire prevention standards, and snow removal requirements all exist for a reason. They help municipalities identify and address hazards before those hazards create larger problems. Strong ordinances give local governments the authority to act proactively rather than reactively. Without them, municipalities often have fewer tools available to address dangerous conditions before someone is injured or property is damaged. Good governance is often preventative, Vasselli notes. The objective is not simply responding after something happens. The objective is reducing the likelihood that it happens in the first place. Emergency preparedness requires more than a plan. Communities today face a wider range of potential emergencies than previous generations. Severe weather events, flooding, utility disruptions, cybersecurity incidents, infrastructure failures, and public health concerns have all increased the complexity of municipal emergency planning. Preparing for these events requires much more than maintaining an emergency operations manual. Effective preparedness depends on communication systems, resource coordination, mutual aid agreements, continuity planning, staff training, and clearly defined responsibilities. It also requires regular evaluation to ensure plans remain current and effective. The legal component of emergency preparedness is equally important. Municipal attorneys frequently assist with reviewing emergency procedures, drafting intergovernmental agreements, and ensuring compliance with applicable laws and regulations. In many cases, a community's response during a crisis is determined by the work completed long before the crisis begins.